The Eagles beat the Bucs 25-11 on Monday Night Football on the heels of another 200-yard rushing performance, a couple touchdowns from Jalen Hurts, and defensively, 2 turnovers, a couple of sacks. We've got plenty to break down, and we're going to start on the defensive side of the football, where, once again, the line of scrimmage was owned by the Philadelphia Eagles. The defensive line came to play. Jalen Carter, Fletcher Cox, Josh Sweat, everybody making their presence felt, but we're going to go with the 2 guys in the interior. I was really impressed with the way Fletcher Cox and Jalen Carter played in tandem in this game. There was a 2-play sequence that we're going to start with. You love watching 2 guys work together in unison up front, and that is the case now with this veteran Fletcher Cox and the rookie Jalen Carter. A 2-play sequence in the second quarter really puts that on display. Tampa Bay sliding towards Jalen Carter. Now, Carter's going to swim inside. He negates that double team, but watch both he and Fletcher Cox win with power. Both guys collapsing the pocket. Carter gets there first. Cox loops around. He's able to get home to Mayfield as well. Carter and he split the sack. Outstanding job of those 2 guys playing off each other on the inside. Very next play, you've got those 2 guys working in concert once again. This time it's going to be a quick throw to the right. Cox is running a TE stunt with Hassan Reddick. Cox, with his power, gets into the passing lane. Baker does not feel comfortable throwing this football. Now he's got to get to his next read. He's got to get to the check down. This is where Jalen Carter comes into play. He has got a GPS for the football. Full speed, violent punch out, gets the ball on the ground. James Bradbury scoops it up. That is big time from the rookie first-round pick, Jalen Carter, and it all started with Fletcher Cox getting into the backfield, disrupting the play, taking away the pass lane. You love being able to see these guys work off of each other, and it showed up numerous times in the game, but this was my favorite 2-play sequence. Now, it's often the case when you've got a great rush, you got to look at those guys on the back end doing their job, and here, looking at the back end angle, the sideline angle of that Fletcher Cox and Jalen Carter sack, that's exactly what you're going to see. You've got James Bradbury in the slot. He and Darius Slay, they're going to do a great job playing cover 2, taking this out route away from Mike Evans and Baker Mayfield. Mayfield's got to get off that first read. That gives Cox and Carter enough time to be able to get home. Great job by the 2 veteran corners at the bottom of the screen, taking that quick game throw away. A little bit later, you get another sack here, this time from Marlon Tuipulotu. Look at the back end of the coverage. This time, Sidney Brown in the slot, another rookie doing good work for this Eagles defense. This time, Baker Mayfield steps up. First, he wants to go over to his left to Chris Godwin. Bradbury takes that away. Now he's going to work back to the middle of the field. He's got a little dagger concept working here, and he wants that in cut. He wants that in-breaking route. But look at the 2 linebackers. They constrict down on this passing lane. Take that away. Baker Mayfield does not feel comfortable throwing this football, and he steps right into a sack from Marlon Tuipulotu. Great job with the coverage, linking up with the rush, and it resulting in a negative play. And you go a little bit earlier. This is a 3rd down on the opening drive. And again, you've got Baker Mayfield dropping back. He wants to go to the wide side of the field. Cunningham and Slay do a great job of just plastering those routes, taking that stuff away, making sure it's not a clear picture for Mayfield. He's got to hold on to the football. He takes a hit. Now he's running around. You've got Carter back there. You've got Sweat in pursuit. Great job from Josh Sweat running that play down. But it all starts with the coverage on the back end, helping the defensive line. You love being able to see that. We saw it a number of times here in this game. And if we're going to talk about coverage, we got to talk about safety, Reed Blankenship. Yeah, he came up with this interception that we're going to break down here, but had a number of impressive plays coming downhill in the run game. Missed last week due to injury. Really good to see Reed Blankenship back on the field. He had that impact play, had that diving interception. Let's break down how he was able to pick off Baker Mayfield. And speaking of the coverage, just outstanding work here from Reed Blankenship on this interception. It's going to start from a nickel set. All right, so you got nickel personnel, 5 DBs on the field, James Bradbury in the slot. And you see the communication here on the jet motion. It's going to be a quarter, half coverage. So cover 6. All right, so you've got quarters to the bottom of the field. And those 2 veteran corners, Bradbury and Slay, they take away Baker Mayfield's first read. He wants to go to the quick game to Mike Evans. So that's taken away. Now he's got to work back to the middle of the field. Blankenship is reading this the entire way. He took a little peek over at Evans, saw that ball was not going there. Slay and Bradbury took it away. He immediately triggers and jumps this route in the middle of the field. Diving interception. Outstanding play from Reed Blankenship. And again, he read Mayfield's eyes the entire way and makes a great play on the ball. Reed Blankenship showing up once again in this game. So just a big-time play there from Reed Blankenship. And again, I talked about what he did, not just in coverage, but also playing downhill against the run. Well, the run defense was outstanding against the Bucs. They just could not get anything going. They held Rachaad White to under 3 yards a carry. And even then, that was boosted late in the game as they were playing in catch-up mode, and the Eagles were just trying to pin their ears back against the pass. Did an outstanding job of shutting the run game down when Tampa knew they had to run to sustain the offense here, especially through the meat of this football game. Now, Now, one aspect of the run defense that really stood out, some of the schemes that the Eagles used up front. And we're going to start on the safety by Nicholas Morrow. What did the Eagles do to free him up? Let's take a look. The Bucs have the ball on their own 1-yard line. They come out in a heavy set. 13 personnel. You got an extra offensive lineman out there with a couple of tight ends. Now, what do you do if you're the Eagles? You're expecting run. Look at this run stunt here from the Eagles. You're going to have slant both defensive tackles. And what does that do? It opens up wide lanes for Nicholas Morrow and Zach Cunningham to get through. Morrow sneaks in. He gets in clean. Great job avoiding contact. And he meets the running back in the backfield. Really stout from Zach Cunningham on contact. You've got Jordan Davis creating knockback. Jalen Carter disrupting. Everybody up front doing their job. And it results in a safety. You saw the same things earlier on as well. Again, this is an 11 personnel set this time. You've got a little run blitz here between Fletcher Cox and Zach Cunningham. I love the angle from Cunningham playing downhill. He's chasing the hip of Fletcher Cox. Look how tight he takes this angle to get home to the running back. He meets him in the backfield. Jordan Davis is back there, and now you've got Nicholas Morrow to clean it up. He gets the TFL, but that doesn't happen without the run blitz, the execution from Cox and Cunningham. Those guys set that play up. All right, as we transition now to the offense, you love what you saw from the run game once again. Second week in a row, DeAndre Swift goes for over 100 yards. That's the first time he has done that in his young career. Big-time plays from DeAndre Swift, a couple of explosives. We're going to break down one of them here. What did I love most about DeAndre Swift? His decisiveness. Here's the breakdown. One thing I love from DeAndre Swift in this game, his decisiveness. When that lane opened, he went. And this was a great example. This is the big hurdle play. Look at the hole here. As soon as he gets the ball from Jalen Hurts, and he turns on the jets immediately, he hurdles the defender at the third level. That is a big-time run, 26 yards on the ground for DeAndre Swift. Later in the game, this one's down in the red zone. This is not as sexy. This isn't as explosive. But look what he does here, right into the teeth of the defense. He's going to cut this one back right in between the tight ends. He's taking contact. He's lowering the shoulders. He's running his feet, and he gets down onto the goal line. That's a big-time run in the low red zone from DeAndre Swift. Now, we've seen so much zone running from Swift over the last 2 weeks, but it's not just the zone runs because he'll run these gap schemes as well. This is a counter run from the pistol. You have Landon Dickerson coming. He's the kick-out player. You've got Jack Stoll as the lead blocker, and he hits it up in between those two blocks, lowers his shoulder on the defender, spins off contact, picks up a few extra yards. DeAndre Swift, very decisive in this game against the Bucs. Going up against a Todd Bowles defense, you know that the pass game, it's going to be tricky, right? He's going to throw some blitzes at you. He's going to throw some different coverages, some exotic looks, some man, some zone. He's always going to mix things up. But I thought Jalen Hurts, he did a nice job in this game of creating some explosive down the field. And we saw that here. The 34-yard touchdown from Hurts to Olamide Zaccheaus. Let's see how that play happened. This was such a big-time throw. 3rd and 10 from Jalen Hurts. 11 personnel, 3 receivers on the field. Olamide Zaccheaus in the slot. Now, the Bucs are in quarter half coverage. Cover 6. It's a form of 2-high safety look. And the Eagles are running a 3-level stretch. The backside safety, he's going to trigger on Devontae Smith's over route. That's where Jalen Hurts wants to go with this ball. But once he sees that the numbers are not in his way, he's going to get to this backside dig, and he throws Olamide Zaccheaus open. This is an outstanding throw away from the defender where only Zaccheaus can get it. And he does this all while staying within the confines of the pocket, eyes downfield. He ends up taking a shot on this play as well. This was big time from Jalen Hurts, his best throw of the night by my estimation, and it goes 34 yards for pay dirt. He hits him right in the breadbasket. That's a big time throw from Jalen Hurts. And then one last thing that stood out to me from the pass game was just A.J. Brown and his ability to create with the ball in his hands. We know that that was something he really hung his hat on down in Tennessee. Well, they carried that through last year, and we saw more of it in this game. Let's see how A.J. created some yards after catch against the Bucs. A.J. Brown has always been known for his ability to create yards after the catch, and some of that's going to be done by scheme, some of it by sheer willpower. You get the former here on this play. This is a little mesh route. Great job here from Jack Stoll on the rub route. He creates a little separation for A.J., and A.J. does the rest, runs away from the corner and man-to-man coverage, and a big play there on the opening drive. Later in the game, this one is not going to be a scheme play for yards after catch, but this is an ISO route. He's just going to run a little hitch route. Jalen Hurts hits him. This is good timing here, and timing and anticipation, that That is big for creating yards after catch. He puts it right on the numbers. You get a drop step right at the catch for A.J. Brown. He gets vertical. Even though his back is to the defender, that little drop step gets him vertical. And then notice where he's got the ball when he turns. You can see this from the end zone angle. He's got the ball in the outside arm. That frees up the inside arm to throw the stiff arm, keep himself alive. He's got the weapon at his disposal, and he creates yards after catch. A.J. Brown does a nice job here with the ball in his hands. All right, so again, a big win for the Eagles on the road in Tampa Bay. Monday Night Football, prime time. Make sure you check out Eagles game plan. We're going to break down some of these plays once again with Greg Cosell and Ike Reese, Mike Quick, John Clark. We're going to get you ready for Eagles Commanders Sunday, Week 4 against Washington. Stay tuned right here on the Eagles YouTube page.